The man with the keys stops by the Centerville Middle School gymnasium to open it up for play, something he's been doing on Monday and Wednesday nights for almost 20 years. This gym is special though. It just happens to house the only permanent, full-size, fully marked team handball court in America. And the guy with the keys just happens to be the person for whom the court is named. This is Ray Gehrke, the man who made the Centerville Team Handball Club the talk of the sport inside the house that Ray built.
I insisted when they marked the courts, we have a full team, basketball court marked in black, and I made sure when they were lining the court for team handball that the goalies area would be marked red so you could see it right away, and we have the out of bounds marked red so it has the court marked out, and then we have our logo of our Mustang team handball logo in the middle of the court. So I'm very proud to have this facility.
Ray had been a coach and teacher at Centerville Middle School for several years when in 1979 he and another teacher began an intramural program in team handball, a sport he had discovered while doing research for a graduate degree. Things built up from there.
My colleague, who was department head at the time, said, let's try it. And he tried it in the 8th grade and I tried it in the 7th grade. And then we didn't have goals, so we used high jump standards as goals, and they had to throw it past under the height of the goalie, and we tried it that way. We used rules from a book on rules of the games, and it has the rules of all the sports. And we played it real funky the first couple of years because we really didn't know what we were doing.
A friendship with Cal Heat coach Jack Holloman, playing in nearby Hayward, led to a trip to Colorado Springs in 1983 to watch the national championships. With a first-hand look at what real handball was like, Ray was hooked.
So I traveled with the Cal Heat. I took my video camera and went around and videoed things to show my classes, and really fell in love with the game because it's soccer with your hands, and a lot of scoring, and everybody gets to score. And at the youth level, even the goalie scores sometimes.
With this background in the sport, and with Cal Heat players eager to teach the game to the kids, Ray began his program at Centerville. It grew a little bigger each year.
We started a league, first of all co-ed, about 8 teams, about 10 on a team, so we had about 80. And then so we decided to have a 7th grade league, an 8th grade league for the boys, and then combine the girls. So we had three leagues. One of the reporters came down and did a nice article on team handball, and I contacted him, and he started putting in junior high intramural scores in the paper each week. So we had our own little articles in the paper for an intramural program, and this lasted about 6 or 7 years through the program. We had a regular thing. Then we actually had some banquets for the kids, gave trophies out to the best players. Mark Wright was our first guest speaker, and we had about 40 students and their families, and Mark Wright and some dignitaries from the school district.
In the late 80s, the team had developed so well and was so anxious for competition, it traveled to Winnipeg for a junior tournament.
In 1990, 91, and 92, we went to Winnipeg, Canada. I got an invitation from the director up there, and they have a sports festival during the winter, and it's the festival of the Voyager. And we went up. First of all, before we could go up there, I asked the principal, and he looked at me kind of strange, and he said, "You know, I'm going to let you go, but you got to take me with you." half the players on the team that hadn't even been out of the state. I had 5 players, we took 12 players. I had 5 players that had never been on an airplane before. The school at Winnipeg, Canada that hosted us, they did a great job because we stayed with families there. The kids we had to raise money for our flights. We sold a lot of nachos at lunchtime and a lot of fundraisers.
Then a most amazing thing happened. The school's principal, Gehrke Merigian, who had accompanied the team on several of their trips, caught Ray's enthusiasm for the sport. He envisioned a place where handball would always flourish for young kids. And so when the opportunity arose to build a new school gymnasium, he made sure the dimensions were big enough for a real court, with real handball boundaries, including circles with red interiors, just like you might find in France or Denmark.
The principal talked up with the school district because of team handball and what it's done with the kids, and he could really, he was a great thinker. He saw what it did for the kids and how many kids we had in the program. He wanted to keep it going, and at the time the Cal Heat was practicing across the bay, and he wanted to bring the adults in to help the kids and help the program grow. So he pushed for a full team handball court marked in the gym.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fremont, California, the site of a special team handball competition today.
With the construction of the gym, the Centerville Middle School Team Handball Club reached the zenith of its influence in the sport. To commemorate the opening, a game was staged and recorded between 2 of the top club teams in the world, Team Deacon, the Finnish club team champion, and the Sushi Masters, a legendary American club team, the reigning national champion with a roster of 7 past Olympians.
We had an international game with the Sushi Masters, United States defending national champions, and a team from Finland, Team Deacon Club from Finland, and they played. It was on a cable TV station. We had announcers, we had cameras, booms, everything, and it was just a great experience.
These days, Ray is much more likely to be found watching his son Jeff, a former Centerville handball player turned tennis professional. Ray has been retired for a few years now, and without him, the program is not nearly as robust as it was. Still, he shows up every Monday and Wednesday to make the gym the only real handball court in America, available to both young kids and the adults from the Cal Heat club team. It's a program he's eager to sustain, and he hangs around to make sure things are run correctly. After all, when your name's on the court, you gotta make it look good.